Hello, I'm Gusta Johnson. I'm part of the Carnegie Council. The Carnegie Council has been around for almost 100 years. Donate now to keep the voices of ethics alive. Press pause and donate, and then you will return to this video. Thank you.
The Iranians have only themselves to blame for the fact that they have not been more transparent and more cooperative with the International Atomic Energy Agency. But having said that, particularly because the Iranians have not reported their enrichment of uranium for several years before the IAEA discovered it. And I must clarify that the enrichment of uranium is not prohibited under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, but it is reportable under the International Atomic Energy Agency safeguards under which Iran operates. Now, the national intelligence estimates of the United States, as well as many other intelligence agencies in the world, have not concluded that Iran has a nuclear weapon or is close to getting a nuclear weapon. How you read a country's intentions, of course, is a very subjective matter. And I don't think we should be, as it were, bothered about what Israel thinks about it, because Israel has its own motives within the Middle East, and Israel is in no position to preach to the world about acquiring nuclear weapons, having got secretly an arsenal of something like 200 nuclear weapons, according to estimates by SIPRI and several others. Now, we do need a mature negotiation of this issue, and I hope that the deal that has been negotiated by the presidents of Brazil and Turkey will in fact stick, where there is this offer to export Iranian fuel, something like 1,200 kilograms, and then let them have fuel from Russia and France for the Tehran reactor. Now, this might be a way in which we can break out of this. I believe in diplomacy as a solution to the problems of the world in general, and in particular to the problem of nuclear proliferation. We've had already Libya come back into the fold as a consequence of diplomacy. Of course, we now have them fully compliant with the NPT, and I believe that same task can be undertaken rather than going into the kind of futile exercise of the invasion of Iraq, which ultimately ended up with the discovery that there were no weapons of mass destruction there. And so we do need also, of course, the countries who claim that they are the high priests of non-proliferation to be perfectly guiltless. First of all, they must proceed with their own nuclear non-proliferation treaty promises of getting rid of their nuclear weapons. And secondly, they must not make distinctions between good proliferators and bad proliferators and give the Indians the deals that they have got because of realpolitik reasons. You may remember that when the Shah of Iran was in charge of Iran, he wanted to have the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and then that was encouraged by the West. But now, because we have a different regime heading Iran, it's suddenly become not at all acceptable.